For more, let's bring in Hoon Kim, Senior Correspondent, East and South Asia at Global Strat View. Hoon, good to be with you as always. So what do you think the primary goal of the meeting between Presidents Biden and Xi is?
Well, firstly, in order to even look at this meeting, we need to understand that this meeting is not beneficial to any of the sides. And again, Xi Jinping is only coming here because there is a dire need for foreign investments to come in into his country. And considering the fact that there's over 24% unemployment in China right now, and the unhappiness of the people is growing even further because of this economic downturn, Xi Jinping himself is, in a sense, desperate for U.S. attention in this regard. And on the U.S. side, I mean, at this point, I personally do not know what the Joe Biden administration is trying to achieve out of this meeting. But the only thing that we will be getting out of this is, unfortunately, empty promises and no clear answers whatsoever.
Yes, Hoon, I want to jump off of what you said, mentioning China's economy. I mean, arguably is facing the biggest challenge it has in decades. How is that going to play into this meeting?
Well, China has been doing a lot of things to drive foreign investors away. And for example, they have been raiding executive offices all over China and industrial facilities, which actually swayed away investors from even coming into the country or even considering further investments into the country, and thereby shifting their investments elsewhere. And so for Xi Jinping to achieve something out of this is somehow pretty critical. But also at the same time, he realizes that there are other obstacles that on the CCP's path that needs to be crossed, which cannot be crossed in a sense. The issue of human rights and the fentanyl crisis within the U.S., which China has obviously been fueling for the last few decades.
Yeah, and the meeting taking place in San Francisco, which has a huge problem when it comes to homeless and drugs. Another big topic of the discussion: Taiwan, its upcoming presidential election. This as China really increases its military pressure in and around Taiwan. Let's talk more about that, Hoon, and will there be any middle ground when it comes to Taiwan? Well,
when it comes to Taiwan, China is very adamant about its position. They firmly believe that Taiwan is a rogue province that is being backed up by the Western forces, when Taiwan itself has undoubtedly the right to self-determination. And in of itself, I think the only thing that we will see in terms of Taiwan coming out of this meeting is the fact that the status quo for Taiwan will continue on the U.S. side, and China undoubtedly will have to respect it, whether they like it or not. But also at the same time, this touches upon the other obstacle that we talked about, the issue of human rights. I mean, we also see the issue of jailed journalist Yu Dong, who's been jailed, unfortunately under Chinese rule, and slew of other people who have been suffering under the CCP's rule for the last few decades. And so with all of these factors considered, in terms of Taiwan being usurped by China, or even being given "quote unquote" given back to China is completely out of the question, considering the fact that this is what they do to their own people, and there's really no good trust be involved.
Hoon, thank you so much for weighing in. Always appreciate your time and your insights.